Hey, welcome to Stanley Parable.
And I'm here too.
The hobo.
Yes, the hobo.
The hobo that broke into his house and played House Wanted.
And very sweaty.
Yeah.
Very sweaty hobo.
Yeah, very sweaty.
Totally was not us just acting, and he totally
This is the
was
story of a
just.
man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he
Oh,
was
my favorite
employee
YouTuber. That
number
was your forward to start
427.
streaming Deluxe 911.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders
Just like
came
me.
to him through a monitor on his desk.
Except it's on a controller.
Telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
This narrator won't shut up.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him
I
to
think
follow.
they can still hear you.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say,
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip. Gay people at 9/11. Gay people on 9/11 at 3 p.m.
Check what the time says on the clock.
How do you do that? Oh,
Look at the.
one sec. Okay, shorthand was hour hand. Longhand was minute. So it's
11:20.
So it's okay.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little... No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Are you pooping in there? I can smell it.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy? Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks? Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants refuge.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction.
Nah, boys,
of
this is not
witnessing
Trophy
true
Hunter.
effort
I seem
for
like a
noble
loser.
cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it.
Good job.
Yes, almost certainly 50.
Shut up, man. I'm not doing your trophy or whatever. They're not pooping in here. Are you pooping in there? This reminds me of my life. See, that the coffee cup symbolizes myself. And that shares you. That coffee cup's you, since you're like on the ground, because you're gonna go to hell. And there's no one there, because you're the only person I know in my entire life.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wait, my left or your left? Wait.
They're the same left.
I know. Okay, so
I know Bonnie scarred you.
So he wants me to go there. But if Bonnie has taught me anything.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
You never know. One of these doors might open. This
Yes,
is nice.
truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I can crouch. Okay, so this symbolizes my life. See, these two coffee mods are me and my friends. And then this is you, because I hate
that
you.
even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Is it my brother?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
My brother is not a girl.
It's not me. You'll see.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Honey?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
What the fuck?
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh my god, she's so hot.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here,
Fuck
Stanley.
you, Wayne. Get out of here.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Where am I?
I don't mind if you leave my name and then change it anyway.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Wait, what?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, you know what? No. I have my own free will. I can press any button I want.
Only you understood the irony of that statement.
I don't know what that means, Wayne.
You gotta keep going through the game to find out.
Oh, I can't go because the visible wall. I can't go. I can't go because the visible wall. The visible wall, honey. It's the visible wall. I want to eat something in the fridge. Okay, fine.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands.
Where am I?
It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him.
Was it my imagination?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Wait, what
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and
What?
again, over
What?
and over, wishing
What?
and hoped that it would never end, that he might
What?
always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down
Get out
some
of my
new
head.
path.
Get out of my
Mustn't there
head.
be?
Get out
Perhaps
of
if
my
he played
head.
it just one more time.
Get out of my head. No. No, I don't want to tell her.
But there is no answer. How
Stop.
could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he
I don't want
forgets
to
which
be here
life is the
anymore.
real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't
I
listen
love
to
killing
me.
myself.
He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Try it again. Oh.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Really?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay,
What could it mean?
I'll play the
Stanley
game.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'll play the game how you want it, okay? Please, just I don't want to
When
do
Stanley
this
came to a set
anymore.
of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Me in here.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I'm in a broom closet.
There was nothing here.
Morty.
No choice to make.
Morty,
no
I'm in
path
broom
to follow,
closet.
just an empty broom closet.
I'm broom closet Rick.
No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Just want to
He
go
wasn't even
home.
doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
There's something to interact with.
That's not in the room.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Funny.
He's British, he doesn't understand humor.
Oh, filthy British
You
person.
do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll go upstairs. That hurts my eyes. Huh? Very fancy office.
That his bathroom. To be rich? Is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have just picked just one.
Turns out my boss has gone crazy.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Wait, where does this say?
It says behind, not like behind. Like from where the box stack.
Oh, 2845?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Konnichiwa? I might as well. Oh, I thought there was no ramp. Marco! Don't leave me here! Marco!
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Nah, I'd win. Seems like somewhere I don't want to be. You know, I'm good on that. I'm good. I'm not going down there. I'm not trying to die. But actually, that's what proceeds say. You know what they say? You can only die once.
They say you only live once. YOLO. The end is never the end.
See? I'm fine. See? I just survived it.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss.
I don't want to die. I do not want to die. I do not want to die.
He resigned.
I want to live.
Violent end to his
I want to live.
Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first book iteration. Sorry, retarded.
Iteration means version.
Lots of stuff. God, I hate this game. I have to read.
On this computer. I can read for you.
I got it. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parables design. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged
as an extension
of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. The Office. Oh, I love that show.
There was a thing you could write back there.
What?
The thing.
Oh. Selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone.
Early version of maintenance. Do you know what the maintenance room is? When you went to the break room, you know how I told you to get back on track and you ignored it?
Yeah.
That was the room that you were going to go through if you're trying to get back on track.
Okay.
I've seen every ending of the game, by the way.
Don't spoil it
I
for the
won't
viewers and me.
I won't.
I'm just gonna stop reading this shit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Data will be deleted from the console. You're going to erase all your save data and everything.
Wait, straight up?
I think so. That's what it sounds like it says.
Don't let time...
I actually thought about it for a second there.
You still make sure you're still broadcasting.
Why?
Because I don't know if clicking enter rest mode made you stop broadcasting. Are we still here, viewers?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought I said we were muted.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Damn.
And I don't know what progress in that. I don't know whether it just...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think it made your progress.
Yet there was not a single person
Yeah.
either.
Blah, blah, blah,
Feeling
blah,
a
blah,
wave
blah,
of
blah, blah,
disbelief,
blah, blah,
Stanley
blah.
decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
2843,
walked upstairs
right?
to his boss's office.
I think, yeah. That should...
I know. Oh, what's in here?
We're gonna stay in here. Wait, if it's gonna be...
Down, 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 down. I touch children inappropriately. I have several restraining orders. I'm not allowed any communities. I am a pedophile. I am a freak.
I was trying to look this was the fact that the narrator would sing a little bit, but yeah, he kept singing over it. Also, disclaimer: this guy is unhinged. Nothing he said was true.
No, disclaimer. This
Stepping
guy's
into
a
his manager's
psychopath.
office,
Everything I said
Stanley
is
was
true.
once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, can't go in there. Okay, I'll go the right way this time. I don't want to die. I want to live. Loading. Man, I should have played Doki Doki Literature Club instead of this.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Don't
door
give
that
them
read
context.
Mind Control Facility.
This is...
If you played that game instead, I would have wrestled the controller with you so that you wanted to delete Monica.
If I wanted
The
to.
lights rose
I
on
don't
an
care.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
I'm not
Did
gonna
he have the strength to
deny
find
the
out?
fact that I love Monica.
That is fucking weird.
I mean, Monica.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
That was
Their
not
true nature revealed.
joke I was trying
Each
to
bore the
make.
number of an employee in the
Jokes
building.
is a loser
Stanley's
game.
co-workers. The lives of so many
That's her-
individuals reduced to
it is,
images on a
but
screen.
Did you know that
And
downside of
Stanley,
automated
one of
is
them,
satire?
eternally
Yeah,
monitored in this
it's
place
kinda obvious.
where freedom meant nothing.
Do you understand what's going on with this part?
What?
those screens are each of your coworkers or you, because you're secretly being
This
monitored.
mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he
I think it
truly
is under
spent
someone
his
else's
entire
control.
life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Dismantle means turn off, by the way. You got the good ending.
Yay! I won, right?
Let's see.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
God.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game.
Yippee!
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Get your first trophy.
Alright,
All of
so
his
now
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
find out next time on
Stanley
Dragon
decided
Ball
to go
Z.
to the
You
meeting
gotta do
room.
other
Perhaps he had
variations
simply
of
missed a
listening to
memo.
him or ignoring it.
Well, I got that idea. Basic.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting
well,
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nah, the point round is boring.
Wow.
Dude, this is a symbolizing
Yes,
for us.
this room.
Because this is me and my
What a
viewers,
beautiful
and
room.
that's you, because I
What a
don't like
gorgeous, gorgeous room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
you. See? The end is never the end.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Sure.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
I'm waiting.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Nadwin. Is this just the same thing?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Make it drop. From the top, make it drop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Blah, blah,
Perhaps
blah,
he had simply missed a memo.
Blah, 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 blah. Go on this door again. Wait, can I go on one of these doors?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Excuse me? What the actual fuck are you doing in my house? Oh, they all connect back to each other. That's quirky and fun.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
If I hear you say that one more time...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I know,
Perhaps
but
he had
man...
simply missed a memo.
Please tell me it's normal this time, man. I want to break other rules. What
Okay,
the
yep,
fuck?
it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
What the...
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Huh?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yeah.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for
fuck
that
you.
win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Can't jump. The adventure line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I'm having an existential crisis. Where am I?
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Got all its details memorized. Do you?
I'm still studying.
Ah. Very detailed.
I don't want to miss a single thing. Alright, studied it. Full walking in my brain.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No,
No, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
You got them pick the correct door. I can't believe it.
Now, yes,
I wish
this
I should
is
stop paying
exciting.
attention for a
Just
second.
me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So...
How will I know?
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
What the fuck?
Alright.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
No, the point is I'm trying to get the speedrun ending.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
You have the strength to find out. Find out that stuff.
Now the monitors
You
jumped
know
to
something
life.
I noticed
Their
about some of
true
these
nature
monitors?
revealed.
That
Each
says
bore the
fired.
number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
Stop being a
co-workers.
monitor.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That one says pirate up there. You notice that? I don't know if there's anything else. It just mentions coworkers who are fired and therefore don't have an office space or pirate.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in,
I don't remember exactly how to get it, but I remember that you just have to try to keep going and going and going until he becomes satirical about the point of speedrunning games. That's why I don't personally speedrun games, because the first speedrun I saw was of this game.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Where's the line?
Yes.
There's the line.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Oh, I didn't know I walked all the way back. I'm an idiot.
But to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps
trying to get
the
there as fast as
only thing
possible.
worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I'm forcing my way forward, as you can see.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his
Not
skin.
speedrun ending.
The feeling of liberation. The immense possibility of the new path before him.
I don't know how to get the speedrun
way,
ending. I saw Mark
right now,
get it, but I don't know how to
things
get it.
were meant to happen. and Stanley was happy.
Me too.
Alright, guys. Unlike this boring guy over here, I'm gonna do something interesting. Let's see what we got here.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
We haven't tried to turn the mind control machine on, so you want to do that one?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Can you tell what 2 endings there are?
No.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yay!
But the other ending is also
Stanley
jumping
knew
off
the office
early, but
layout
not
like the
jumping off
back of his
to your
hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
I don't know how to access the new content. I think it's after a specific ending you can access the new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not
Maybe.
the correct way to the meeting room.
I don't know. What do you think, viewers? Tell me right now.
Perhaps
No one's here. I don't
stop by the
think.
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Go to the live stream.
Standing now in this incredible
Alright, you go
room,
ahead and do that.
Stanley for the first time eager to get back to
Yeah,
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why?
Yep.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley walked through the bruised door?
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, the blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
I think I put a lot of time into that, because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what.
Fuck you.
Take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Where am I? Oh, I gotta go faster then. Did I win? Did I win? I would like to do it, yeah, at least. My eyes, the goggles do nothing. What was that? I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, then you can just pause and do something.
Yay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
I'm
mean?
at the beginning.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, this time I'll go through the red door.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Take a
first,
shot every single
just to
time
admire it.
you hear, this is not the right way to the meeting room. And Stanley knew
felt
this well.
lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. Giddy
He'd
and
be dead
awake,
in
eager to
5
get back to
minutes.
business, Stanley took the
Shut
first
the
open
fuck
door
up.
on his left.
No. I want it.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Because I'm cool like that.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been... Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Yes.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? What?
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue door, right? No.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going?
Somewhere.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Nadwin.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. No. No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was
I'd
before.
win.
If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I'd win.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Okay.
Can you do that for me?
Whoever drew
Yes.
that sucks.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Green! I like the color green.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you? No, perhaps not.
I have to do what I have to do. Because I'd win.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Yes. I'd win.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Can I finally just die? Holy
Is
shit,
it
thank
over?
you.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content!
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Ba-ba-dee, ba-ba-dow, ba-ba-dee, ba-ba-dow.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Yay.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I'm sure you're right.
Mind slapping my back for me?
Is it broken?
Thank you.
What's going on here? Should we...
I got a bug.
Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Me either, man. This is gonna be more exciting than Mario Kart World. No, not
I
even
have
one.
to say, initial impressions
So
of
much more
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Content. Oh, it's right here.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
He jumped. Yay. Ba-ba-dee, ba-boo-da. Ba-ba-dee, ba-boo-da.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness.
Maybe
Another
something in this
elevator.
elevator.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this
Yes.
is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for
I
whatever
don't have
it is.
anything to say. Alright. 9/11 was an inside job.
So that's why he'll never be on this channel again. And I've made a severe and other lack of judgment. Thank you for
That's
enjoying
it?
new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with
So
no
I have some
respect for
scissors
their
here, and now
families
I'm
rush a
going
cheap
to murder my
expansion to market
brother
for no
for
reason other
saying
than to make
those
an
words.
easy dollar. And don't get me started on
Stop,
the level
stop.
of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed
Does
off
that
on
thing say
this?
that? Excellent job following directions. Test trophy, please ignore. What? That actually is a trophy.
I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
The wrench is talking to me. And now it turned to a coffee hut. This was talking. Is that you? Is that a metaphor for you? And that's the knife I'm gonna kill you with?
No.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Yippee!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port?
No.
Remember back in October of 2013 when
No.
the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
You get why it says buy pressurized gas.
Why?
Steam.
Oh.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Imagine you specifically said games you've played.
It'd be pretty funny, yeah.
If you only said Skyrim, it's all 3 though.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Wow.
Oh, I missed the seriously.
No.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Yes.
What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games.
So basically it's just a
I
cheater
haven't looked
thing.
at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Yes.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes,
Yay!
a skip button we shall
Skip
have.
button, new content.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable, but... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about... But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed. The end is never the end, 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 is never...
I think he's gone. I think he's still gone. See, it was well worth it. The push! Yes, the fern. It came reporting again. It's just one giant fern. Side.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, good.
New
You
content.
noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see,
New
Stanley,
content.
I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
They made a sequel?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Well, I've been asking for.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
It says the name of the player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim.
Jim.
Oh my god, that's my name! That's my name! That's my name!
If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish
Hell no.
first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Fine.
Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yes.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You
That's my
see?
name!
What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll
Jim!
lose all
Jim!
sense
How
of
do I
who
crouch?
you
How do I
actually
crouch?
are.
Jim.
Jim! Jim! Jim.
Control it, make that joke.
Guy, okay, let's look at this new feature they added to Stanley Parable, which is
No.
what do you mean?
No, I said don't begin the game again because more stuff to look at.
Here's the new feature of the Stanley Parable.
Closing the game.
Let's see what this does.
All it does is let you talk to the guy who
3,
secretly controlling the game behind the scenes.
2, 1.